What is going on, guys? GHA and Visa, and welcome today to the top 25 anime I believe you should watch. Now, as an anime fan, I hear a lot about what anime should not I as in me, you, if you are starting out watching anime. And I find it really hard to say just 1, 2, 10 or even 20 anime that should be watched. So, this list is my top 25 anime that you should watch. Now, think of this as a jumping point if you're just getting into anime and you don't know what to watch. Or, think of this as a reference list or a checklist. If you think you're an anime fan, or consider yourself one, and you haven't seen some of this anime on the list, maybe watch it. If it interests you, that's my job here, to tell you about these 25 anime and try and get you to watch them, interest you into watching them. Because I believe they all deserve watching. And unlike many lists out there, this is not ranked. I will be doing an order, 1 to 25, but I do not believe that 2 is better than 1 or 1 is better than 2. It's just a nice way of ordering them. And also, if you don't agree with my list, please do make your own. This video in itself is a response video to GR Arcada, or Arcada from Glass Reflections review. And I will put a link to his one in the description and a little annotation on the screen right now quickly. Cool. Now, my list. Like I said, please do put in the comments if you don't agree with my list, what you do agree, what you don't agree. And please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, obviously. And let's get into the list. A lot of people describe Baccano as the anime version of a Tarantino movie, but to be honest, I don't really think that's true. I believe it's more close to a Guy Ritchie movie. The only reason people think it's a Tarantino flick is because it follows a non-linear structure, and it has a love for ultra-violence. But to be honest, Baccano is its own beast, and for that, I think it's good. I believe this anime is awesome. It follows crazy characters with even crazier subplots, it's ridiculous, it's funny, and it's set on a train called the Flying Pussyfoot. That alone should make you want to watch this show. Gurren Lagann is absolutely not my show. The reason for that? I don't like mechs. I don't like mechs. So, if you're watching this as an anime fan, Code Geass is not on this. Sorry. Sorry, I don't like mechs. I'm sorry. However, I didn't watch this for the mechs. The mechs definitely in your face. But so is the rest of this show. The enthusiasm, the soundtrack, the voice acting, both in English and Japanese, I thought I might add, are just amazing. It's such a funny and fun show to watch. True, this is comedy, so it's all about your sense of humour. And this catered to my sense of humour pretty damn well. However, yes, it is a comedy, so like I said, you might not like it, but I'd give it a shot. Give it a shot. To be honest though, you should really give all these anime I'm about to say a shot. They're all worth it. Steins Gate is a double-edged sword. On one half, you have a really funny and witty slice of life show. On the other half, you have a time travel show. And I think this makes it really well in this case. This show's first half really introduces the characters and the world to you really, really well. And the second half, it just unloads on you, making an awesome story. This also, surprisingly, is one of the best romance anime I've seen. This show also has a really, really good romance in it. And I really didn't expect it going into this show. And it really was one of those, yes, they got together, awesome moments. I really wanted to recommend at least one sci-fi anime. And although Gurren Lagann is a sci-fi anime, it doesn't shove it in your face like Steins Gate does. And I'm not a massive fan of sci-fi, and I love this. What else can I say? He's pretty well known. He's also probably one of the best in my opinion. And Psycho-Pass is pretty much textbook Genrobuchi. It's one part compelling fantasy setting, which is set in a crime-obsessed future. which really does mix well. Psycho-Pass pretty much is a crime drama set in the future, and the greatness of this anime is how Gen Reupload creates this world that you just love, and this lore, and just tears it apart in the second half. To create a world and very sound laws, but then question those laws in just over 20 episodes, that's pretty impressive. Also, get used to hearing Gen Reupload's name. It's going to be on there a couple times. I didn't really want to put many long-running shonens on this list because, well, they're long. And their episodes are quite daunting. I admit, I only watch one long-running series at a time. Currently I'm watching Hajime no Ippo, and it's awesome by the way. However, there are two long-running anime I really want to shed some light on. First of all, Hunter x Hunter 2011. The thing with a long-running shonen is, they usually have massive worlds. One Piece is definitely an example of that with an ever-expanding world. Same with Naruto and Bleach, a bit. However, One Piece is definitely the biggest anime world, at least in shonen. However, Hunter x Hunter is probably my favourite world because it's so realised. Every character has a meaning, a backstory, and they all have reasons to be doing what they're doing, if they're fighting for who we think are good or bad. And the fights, dear God, the fights are amazing. And the thing is, shonen usually has a thing called filler. For you who don't know what filler is, basically, that's when you have episodes that have no point to the story and they're just there to fill time. However, I didn't really get the feeling that there was fillers in this anime. And even if there were fillers, they were good. And it's very rare to hear someone say that about any shonen anime. Now on to the second long-running shonen anime I wanted to talk about, Kaeto Hitman Reborn. Hitman Reborn is a coming-of-age tale, just like how many of the long-running shonens are. However, this is probably my favourite shonen out there next to Hunter x Hunter, because, once again, of the characters. The characters are what makes this show, and this also has an achievement that Hunter x Hunter also had. Even the fillers didn't feel like fillers. That was awesome! Unlike Hunter x Hunter, however, this took me about 20 episodes to get into, and this show has 203 episodes, so be prepared to go through the first 20 episodes just to get to know the characters, because, trust me, you either grow to love or hate the characters, and even the ones you hate, you'll kind of be happy that they're on screen because they have a reason to be on screen. Unlike Hunter x Hunter, the fights are insane. However, unlike Hunter x Hunter, there's a little bit less strategy involved, but that's not too bad, to be honest. That's not too bad. Mushishi is a very rare beast. It's one of those strange shows that comes out really confident, and it really does show. It's one of those really weird shows. It comes on, shows us greatness with confidence, then quietly slips away. But you still remember it in the back of your head. This show is pretty much a dangerous version of our Hayao Miyazaki film. It gives off this really dreamy and ambiguous feeling throughout the entire running of the show. And it's probably one of the most beautiful shows on this list. The art is just breathtaking sometimes. Couple that with the amazing musical score, you have a very emotional show. And trust me, it's emotional. Do not watch this if you're a bit depressed or a bit sad at the time, because it's definitely not a show that will cheer you up. However, if you're prepared for that, you'll have a great journey ahead of you. The show feels like you're just sat there, listening to a masterful storyteller tell his stories. And just like a masterful storyteller, you're gripped from beginning to the end. Is basically the perfect high school rom-com. And it's the high school rom-com most other anime attempt to be. The show is populated by really interesting characters with relatable reasons for doing what they do. The story is driven by relatable characters who really do feel human, and they feel human in both their actions and their reasoning. And that's what I love about this show. The characters felt so real, and that's why when, let's say, someone has a fight or makes up, it feels that much more powerful and has that much more influence on the show. Everything felt natural as well. Nothing was forced in this show. Usually in an anime romance, they usually force the protagonist into some awkward scenario so that he can be caught by another female classmate. And I hate that in romance anime. And most importantly of all in my mind, the writing just did banter and interactions between the people so well. Like I said, everything felt human, and I really thought that these people could have existed in the real world. To be honest, there needs to be more anime like Toradora.
It's alright. You might ask why I didn't reshoot the scene. Can be asked.
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. Oh yeah!
Many people here will disagree with me, but Ping Pong the Animation really is a good show, and I'll tell you why. First of all, it's not a sports show. However, I will mention sports shows later, but in this case, the reason it's here is not because it's a sports show. The sports show is just a way to connect all the characters together. The characters in the story really make this show, and like I said before, Ping Pong is just a way for them to interact and join together through that sport. In the end, you don't really care as much about the matches, but what happens before and after the matches and the impact it has on the people. Even if you don't consider yourself a sports fan, or even a fan of that sport, please go out of your way to see this show. You might be turned off by the animation style, but please look past that. I know it's not common, but sometimes it's good to be brave. And I believe they were brave enough in this case to make an amazing show. It's something a bit different. Sometimes different is good. You probably know that anime is weird. It's very weird. And if you become a regular anime watcher, you will see some fucked up anime. Believe me, I've seen some fucked up shit. Very fucked up. Puberty sucks, and learning who you are is tough. And becoming an adult really doesn't come with a guidebook. Fooly Cooly or FLCL knows this, and throws that on you in massive force. This show features robots popping out of foreheads, guitar axe battles, lots of visual slapstick, and really awkward moments. Really awkward. However, this anime has probably one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in anime. Mostly because how much it fits with the craziness of the show. FLCL really has gone down in anime history as one of the weirdest, but kind of best coming of age stories out there. And it's really not one to miss.
Already?
Madoka Magica is fucking awesome. Its visual aesthetic is crazy, beautiful and stunning all at the same time. Its soundtrack is powerful and evocative, and it tells a gripping and smart story about friendship, betrayal, and it tells a gripping and smartly told tale about friendships, betrayal, and the power of being something not human, and even questioning if you're human anymore. Madoka Magica is what you call a deconstruction of a genre. In this case, the magical schoolgirl genre. Now, let me just prefix this. I have not seen a magical schoolgirl genre before watching this. I then watched magical schoolgirl shows such as Sailor Moon. And all this show did for me then, which just made me understand more of where this show is coming from. However, you can go into this show without seeing any magical schoolgirl anime before, and understand the trials and tribulations they go through in this show. This show really does show that if you or me was to become a magical schoolgirl, or boy in my case, the trials and tribulations you'd go through, and shows the darker side of things that other anime such as Sailor Moon don't. And I know I keep bringing up soundtracks in anime, but this really does help the anime become awesome, or gripping, or emotional. And in this case, it does all of it. Whatever's going on screen, the music follows it perfectly. Every time, perfectly. And also, this show is beautiful, and it was truly an honour to watch this in Blu-ray. This show was done by Gen Urobuchi, there he is again, and to be honest, this is probably my favourite work of his. And it's a show that I've rewatched so many times now. It's just such a good show, if you can't tell from how I'm saying about this anime. Next to Cowboy Bebop, you've probably heard a lot about Evangelion. Evangelion. To be honest, this show just needs to be seen by an anime fan, just to say you've seen it. You might like it, you might hate it. To be honest, I wasn't a big fan of it. However, maybe that's because I didn't get it. This show follows a boy who's been forced by his father to pilot a mecha robot to save the world. There you go, mechs. And if you remember what I said earlier, I don't like mechs. I don't like mechs. I don't like mechs. However, you're not really watching this for the fights for the mechs. It's again for the characters. Every character has a fucked up backstory, and to be honest, they're all fucked up themselves. In particular Shinji. I must say though, prepare for a shit ending, because their budget just dropped in the final episodes, and budget cuts were made in this show so often that sometimes it was laughable and horrible. And also, this ending took 2 movies to fix it properly. But going to Evangelion knowing that, but to be honest, the main reason it was so popular anyway was its controversy, apart from it being a pretty good show. Cowboy Bebop and Evangelion are those shows that you just need to be ticked off on your anime list, just to say you've seen them. Black Lagoon is balls to the walls crazy. It follows a transport company known as Lagoon, who deal with the more shady people of the world. Although this show is action, it's not just action, and that's what makes it awesome. It has great characters, and like I mentioned before with other shows, the reason the characters are so awesome in this show is because, once again, they have great reason to be there. You know why they're there by the end of it. You understand why they're there, and you understand why they're doing what they do. I just want to talk about Rally quickly, because when I first saw her, I thought she'd be over-sexualized. And although she kind of is, she becomes the best character in this show. Oh yeah, and also, there's also a gun, umbrella, shotgun. Yeah, there's also an umbrella shotgun, and the final fight is between a samurai and a gunslinger. Pretty fucking cool. Studio Ghibli is a powerhouse in anime. And if you mention Studio Ghibli to a regular person, they might know what you're on about. But if you mention their movies such as Spirited Away, they'll probably know what you're on about. Studio Ghibli is a powerhouse in anime. And although I don't really like many of their movies, I can see greatness when it's in front of me. And Studio Ghibli just make beautiful movies. They're perfect family movies, and to be honest, they're great starting points for anime. Because they're not too weird, they're not too crazy. They're the perfect level of weirdness and beauty, and they combine them amazingly. Like I said, I'm not a massive fan of them, but I can respect them. And I believe that's the thing they've earned most over their years. Respect from all anime fans. challenge since Studio Ghibli has over 20 movies, while Mamoru Hosoda has only done 4 movies. The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Wolf Children, the Digimon movie of all movies, and Summer Wars. These movies fall under the Ghibli category of feel-good family movies, and to be honest, I love all 4 of these movies more than all of Studio Ghibli's combined. Especially Summer Wars and The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. Even though everyone always complains about The Girl Who Leapt Through Time's ending, shut up, alright? Just enjoy the movie. Yeah, the ending was amazing. Weirdly enough, Trigun is more popular in America and places outside of Japan than actually in Japan, which is a bit of a shame because when that happens, we don't usually see sequels that really are deserved. Yeah. This show is about a man with a super duper massive bounty on his head in a kind of Wild West style planet, and I can't delve anymore because that's spoiler territory. However, just watch this show. It's awesome. Just the first half of episode 1 should cover you, and you'll know then if you like it or not. To be honest, that first half sold me. Clannad is a beautiful entry into the romance genre, and it's an anime that has made grown men cry. And I only think Fast and Furious 7 has made that happen. Both the first and second seasons are beautiful, and the reason they're beautiful is the characters. Like Toradora, a romance is built on its characters, and its characters are amazing. Like Toradora, in fact better than Toradora to be honest, these characters feel human, and you see them grow up, in some cases get married, have a kid, and you also see their struggles. The pains that they go through as well. And I may or may not have had a tear or two shed from watching this show, okay? I'm gonna put that out there. This show is based off a visual novel, and if you don't know what a visual novel is, in most cases if it's a romance visual novel, you play as the protagonist, you meet multiple girls, and you decide which girl you want to fall in love with by the end. So that in itself is a danger for Clannad, since there are multiple girls in this show. And although they choose one girl for the main character, there are multiple what-if scenarios in the form of OVAs. And that's just another tick in the book of how awesome this anime is. There isn't too much I can say about the daily lives of high school boys. This show is just fucking crazy. Every episode is full of short skits. Some are extended over different episodes to make multiple parts of one giant skit. However, this show is basically just a skit show. And I find this is one of the funniest shows, even outside of anime, one of the funniest shows I've seen in my life. Of course this is comedy, and comedy is of an acquired taste. Choosing just one sports anime was hard. I was really stuck between Hajime no Ippo, Aishield 21 and Kuroko no Basket. However, Kuroko no Basket took the cake. Kuroko no Basket is here because of this show, I got into basketball and now I love it as a sport and even watch NBA sometimes. The reason this show stands out from the others is its characters and its kind of what the fuck ability. You'd see Kuroko or Kagami or some other character do some incredible feat and you just think, how did he do that? What the fuck? I want to go and do that now. And in many cases I have attempted to try and do what they do. And it never really worked out. Most cases. is another show that is just got to be seen to be an anime fan. If you haven't seen Haruhi, you must go out of your way right now to see Haruhi. It's outstanding. I love it. And the English dub is incredible. Crispin Freeman does an amazing job of Kion. And to be honest, after recording this, I might go and rewatch Haruhi. It's that good. Do you want feels? Well, Anohana has got you covered. The story is so beautiful, and the story will make grown men go into tears, and it's that beautiful that I can't even tell you it without really spoiling it for you. So go on, be free, and watch Anohana. After this, obviously. Of sci-fi, you don't want to miss this. This was originally made 10 years ago, and this still looks like it could have been made today. That in itself is an amazing achievement. And Hollywood just picked up the rights to make a movie out of this, and I believe they're making it as we speak. However, some people are quite against the casting choices they made. Let's just hope this live-action adaptation doesn't ruin its name like some other adaptations. Death Parade ended quite recently, however I really do believe that this anime should be seen. Death Parade is set in a kind of purgatory in a bar called Queen Dekin. Here we meet Dekin, who is an arbiter. An arbiter's job is to decide whether someone moves on from the afterlife to live their life in a different soul, or for their soul to disappear forever. Oh yeah, everyone who enters Queen Dekin has died. Once the dead combatants, I guess you could say, enter the bar, Dekin makes them play a game. Whether it be darts, air hockey, or an arcade-style Street Fighter game. And in this, people slowly regain their memory. Oh yeah, they lost their memory by the way. They slowly regain their memory about their death. In these games, Dekin really tries to bring out the evil in them. However, one of the people that has entered Queen Dekin enters with their memories, or at least the memory that they've died. And Dekin finds this really interesting and takes her under his wing. And the characters really do make this show. I know I say this a lot, but characters I believe really are pivotal in a story. And this anime really evokes some emotions in me that I've never even been able to tell my friends before. So major props for that. And this show deals with things such as suicide and murder in ways that I've never seen in anime before. And once again I have to give major props for that.